I want to tell you about the time I almost died. I never thought it would happen to me, not with my experience. I was humbled and beaten, but let's start at the beginning. I started my day like any other adventure, looking for battle, but sadly this day fortune was not in my favor. While saddened that my adventures had come to an end, I was satisfied, for I knew the Hall of Valor and Sovngarde awaited me. But alas, it seemed the giant hunt had launched my soul off Nirn and beyond the realm of Mundus. I awoke in a new and unknown realm. I was confused and shocked for my glove to be speaking to me, but there was no time for discussion, as even if I did not know this place, I did recognize battle. Feeling as if my arcane power had been weakened, I pulled a nearby axe to me and prepared for what was to come. Talking would have to come later. I fought hard and forged a path. Strangely, these creatures I was fighting reminded me of an homunculi the Dwemer had created. I had run into those things on occasion while delving the ruins of the old. Regardless, destroying them came down to a method I was well versed in. Brute force. I may be a mage, but I was still born an orc. I realized the size of some of the automatons were beyond anything I had encountered before and would need to be careful if I wanted to survive. After fighting my way across the terrain, I was nearly killed in an outhouse. Luckily, this old crone implemented magical weapons the likes I had never seen, but I knew I wanted some. She refused when I asked. Before I could explain to her, it wasn't a request anymore. It was as if the gates of oblivion had opened. The land erupted in fire, and I was swallowed by the ground. I had a moment of panic until I realized I was in this world's form of lift. I used the moment to converse with my cursed glove. The voice, calling itself Charles, refused to believe my circumstances and instead insisted that I must have suffered some sort of brain damage recently. I've decided to leave it at that for now. At least the cursed item is willing to work with me and fill the gaps in this world. After speaking with the cursed item, I emerged into some kind of underground ruin. The door to the full interior was missing a handle that I would need to search for. I heard the voice of another adventurer who had somehow gotten themselves trapped behind the ruin's entryway. While he pleaded for help, I searched and looted everything that wasn't nailed down like a true adventurer. I even found some kind of memory device that documented events of the past in a vocal way. I can only assume the ancient race that dwelt in these subterranean areas had no written language. I wonder if they shared a comparatively bleak end like the Dwemer did. Eventually, satisfied that I had laid claim to all the worthwhile items, I found the handle and opened the door to the ruins proper. Before the other adventurer could properly thank me with gold, he was ripped from the area by a tentacle monster back into the depths of the ruins. I had a slow reaction, as I am far more used to these types of monsters only pursuing adventures of the female variety. But it did help me to realize I need to be on guard. These ruins would house dangers comparable to dungeons diving back in my world. I did not mourn the adventurer, as his end is all too common in this line of business. It also helped that his misfortune was my own fortune, for in the struggle I realized he had left me with a weapon like one of the old crones. For now, I shall call it a boomstick. I'll put away into my pack until a time of great need. I readied myself and proceeded into the maw of this ancient warrens. I did not have to travel far to encounter another adventurer meeting a cruel end. Or maybe the previous adventurer abandoned by the tentacles for not suiting its taste. With the other adventurer dispatched, it quickly turned its attention towards me. This one seemed stronger than the surface version. Charles advised me of the timing to avoid its attacks. While I failed miserably at dodging, I relied on my orcish fortitude to see me through. If I had my magics, this battle would not have been so trying. Afterwards, Charles informed me I could sap the automaton of its magical energy called polymer. I hope this may lead to me being able to get some of my own back. That aside, I can only assume this cursed item is of lower intellect, as all the previous automatons on the surface went to waste due to its delay in imparting this knowledge. I'll make a mental note not to rely on this cursed item, as it may lead to my demise. Sorry, Charles, but you will not get the best of me. Charles interrupted my musings to advise me of looting the nearby treasure room. The idiocy of this glove, treating me as if I were still in Morse Kazgur as a suckling babe. An adventurer would not leave behind loot. Thankfully, Charles finally had some useful information in a timely manner. Just as I was about to start sorting to find what was worth weighing myself down with, I was informed of a strange bag of holding I was connected to. I will be able to loot to my heart's content. In this room, I also found another vocal recording. To my surprise, one of the voices was the old lady I had met above. Maybe it is for the best that I did not attempt to force my acquisition of her magical weapons. She seems to be an immensely old entity, and somehow connected to this ancient civilization. Later, I came upon another robot with its back turned. Charles attempted to walk me through, sneaking up behind to disable it. Things did not go well. It was a foolish thought anyway. I'll leave the skulking to those dishonorable Riften scum. I continued to clear the ruin of its ancient guards. It was confirmed. The guards down here are definitely stronger, but at the same time I felt I had grown. I had slowly been learning their tells, and was able to start effectively dodging. I was not yet perfect, but with time these creatures would no longer pose a threat. Another useful thing I discovered in this world, akin to our potions of healing, there were these med kits that had the same effect. This will prove useful in surviving. I once again encountered a robot in the privy. I can only assume these types of automatons require some form of relieving themselves, like living creatures. Strange they would be designed like this, but to my advantage if it helps me to catch them vulnerable. I eventually came across a locked door blocking my path forward. It seems simple lockpicks are not enough to get through these doors. Charles has instructed me so I can use a magnetic pulse to force the door open. I'm not sure on what he is talking about, but at the very least he should be able to walk me through it. If this is what I'm hoping, then I may be able to restore my own arcane powers like I had thought. It may take time, but ultimately it will be my end goal with this magical polymer energy. As I searched around to look for the place where I could utilize my harvested energies, I was surprised and nearly destroyed by a monstrous worm-like creature that crashed in from above. For a moment, I could only pray my soul would reach Sovngarde with this death and not be forever lost. My last thought, as darkness took me, was wonder if this creature is similar to that of the root worms I hear of in the Black Marsh. It would be interesting to see them domesticated, even if I'd have to put up with all the skooma-addled Khajiit. Ruganar the Ice Mage will return soon in the next chapter of his isekai story. While you wait, you can enjoy one of my other videos. Thank you for watching.